B'Shem Hashem Na'aseh V'Natzliach. Shabbat Shalom to everybody. We know this week's Parsha, we start VaYirka. It's the third book of the Torah, and we talk about the offerings, the sacrifices, all the laws of the Kohanim, the priest and the temple. And this week's Parsha teaches us a very important idea that each person is obligated to give charity according to his means, according to his wealth. Why? Because the Chafetz Chaim says, look, if somebody sins by mistake, God forbid, for example, desecrates Shabbat. So if he's wealthy, he needs to bring a lamb or a cow. If he's middle income, he brings 2 turtle doves or 2 pigeons, Yonah or Shte Torim. And if he's poor, then he brings like a matzah, a flat pancake, which is called the korban, similar to the korban mincha. It's a flat pancake. So the Chafetz Chaim says, you see from here, it says clearly in the Torah, if you're wealthy, you can't be cheap and bring the bread. And what is the value the Torah is trying to teach us? What's the philosophy? What's the way of life the Torah is trying to teach you? That a wealthy person's obligation to the community, to God, is a much higher expectation. According to your net worth, God expects you to bring a certain sacrifice for Him. Same thing is with charity. We know every Jew should give 10% of his net income to charity. If he wants to do the mitzvah in the most perfect way, he should give 20% even. I have a great mentor, our great giant of Torah, Harav Eliezer ben David. I was talking to him personally. He said, if you give 20% of your money to charity, you're guaranteed you won't be sued and you won't have financial loss and get nonsense tickets and stuff. And I know many people that do it and it's worked. It literally does miracles. But be that as it may, the bare minimum requirement of giving charity is 10%. So if you make 100 times more than a poor person, you have to give 100 times more charity. And it's so frustrating and such a shame I see in the community, our community, where rather than people giving hundreds of thousands of dollars of their money to build yeshivas, kollels, orphanages, send it to Israel, to charity, to food banks. People we throw extravagant parties where half of the food gets thrown away and it's all show off. And that in itself causes so much harm to our community. But when God gives wealth to a person, He expects that 10% of that wealth, if you're a billionaire or $100, hundreds of millions or tens of millions, it's not made to use it for extravagance and show-offs and Bentleys. No. It's made to get close to God, to give it back to the community and use it in the path of God for charity and to build up Torah. So may Hashem help us. It's one of the most difficult tests, but to use our money wisely and to use our money to make the world a better place, and to know that if God gave you more money, He expects you to do greater and better work with it. Shabbat Shalom. Don't forget to subscribe.